Now, boys, fight clean. No rough stuff. None of this. Or this. Or this. Or like so. Or this. Or this. Or this. You understand?
Man, I love public domain movie night.
Yeah, you mean none of
Shut up,
this?
Luigi.
Or this? Or
He gets
like
all the perks, man. It sucks.
this? Or this? Or this? Huh? How about a little of this?
Long ago, our galaxy was ruled by
What?
an alien
No,
race
no, no, no,
called
no, 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 no. Kids, they don't make video game adaptations like they used to. Nowadays, you get Walton Goggins as a gunslinging ghoul, which was enough to convince me to watch the Fallout show, which was pretty good. I'm told The Last of Us is good too, but I haven't actually seen it yet. People who actually grew up playing these games are now old enough to make adaptations that aren't trash. While the ratio of acceptable video game adaptations has changed, the number of bad ones hasn't gotten any smaller. In the last 10 years, we've gotten a slew of them, most of which nobody remembers because they were garbage. Stuff like Need for Speed, Hitman Agent 47, Warcraft, Assassin's Creed, yet another fucking Resident Evil movie, a series I've concluded is just really extensive foreplay between Paul W.S. Anderson and Mila Jovovich, which extends to Monster Hunter from 2020. A Tomb Raider movie? Yeah, another one. Rampage? Yes, Rampage with The Rock, who's no more than 1 degree separated from any pile of garbage. Sony made an Uncharted movie. Paramount and Sega somehow found a way to make 3 profitable Sonic movies by making easily digestible and inoffensive slurry. Remember when we got another Doom movie in 2019?
Oh, ultra nightmare, motherfuckers!
And that was the last time I talked about a movie on this channel because trying to beat the copyright bots is usually a losing game. But you know what? Fuck it, let's have some fun. This isn't gonna be a negative video, kids, because I'm too excited that the movie looked at my low expectations of it and laughed, shrank itself down to the size of an atom to get under the bar I set, and with the aid of a little grease, it made it under. Hell yeah, Borderlands movie, months after it would have been algorithmically smart to do it. You know I wanted to after talking about that one scene.
Long ago, our galaxy was ruled by an alien race called the Iridians.
The first time I watched this, as soon as I heard that one line, I knew it was over. Narration doesn't always have to be bad in a movie. A good example of that is Trainspotting. That movie also starts with narration, after exploding onto the screen with kinetic energy underlain with Iggy Pop's Lust for Life, in a montage that explains more visually about the characters and their relationships than Ewan McGregor's narration. Trainspotting doesn't open the movie explaining the process by which English chemist C.R. Elder Wright first invented heroin.
Though they disappeared ages ago, they left behind fragments of their technology,
Borderlands opens with a line about Iridians, who do not appear in this movie.
scraps that became the foundation for all human advancement.
Now, I'm not the biggest fan of Borderlands. I enjoyed some of the games. The first one is fine for what it is. The second one is universally considered the best, although I like the gunplay in 3 a bit more, you know? I enjoy me some Jacobs guns in that. And I have played the pre-sequel, but I've only ever tried New Game Plus on 1 and 2, and I remember beating 1 that way, and I gave up during 2 because the enemies just got so tanky that I lost interest. So I'm not a Borderlands expert. Thankfully, this movie doesn't follow much from the games. Like, there's Pandora.
The once peaceful world was overrun by corporations, criminals, and treasure seekers.
Okay, yeah, that's like in the game. Wouldn't it be weird if they then cut to a bus with a colorful collection of characters who play off each other well, and they're all vault hunters, and they go on cool adventures? It's a movie we've all seen before, sure. Ragtag bunch of misfits do a thing and have gunfights. James Gunn has built a career off of these kinds of stories. You guys could have thrown the Suicide Squad and Mad Max into a blender and gotten better slurry than this. No, wait, I mean Guardians of the Galaxy, the movie this one was trying harder to ape. That was the profitable James Gunn movie people were thinking about when this movie started shooting. In 2021. Yeah, it sat on the shelf for a couple of years. The script is credited to Eli Roth.
Ooh, faced! Scratch Mo did.
And Craig Mazin. Craig Mazin, allegedly, is credited as Joe Crombie because he wanted to take his name off the project. Craig Mazin received critical acclaim for The Last of Us and Chernobyl, but he also did the Hangover movies and a film where Harlan Williams inflates his spacesuit with farts and then the farts go through a tube to the other astronaut who has to smell his farts. I know it was his first movie and he had co-writers, but this is less embarrassing than Borderlands. There was a troubled production, you know, reshoots by Deadpool director Tim Miller, but I don't want to go into the behind-the-scenes stuff. I want to talk about the movie itself, because it's such a mess that you can tell there were people hacking it to bits during post. And that brings us back to Lilith's narration. There's been more than a few times in history that a movie comes out and has expository narration opening it, because otherwise the audience won't have a clue what's going on.
A long, long time ago, the Earth was ruled by dinosaurs.
And sometimes studios demand the narration be added because the movie was too confusing for the stupidest people in the audience, like Blade Runner.
That was my profession. Ex-cop. Ex-Blade Runner.
Nobody's going to be doing a critical reevaluation of Borderlands in 10 years.
A prophecy that one day a daughter of Iridia would open the vault and restore order to the broken planet.
Oh, good, so when they open the vault in this movie, Pandora's going to be a nice, peaceful place and we won't get any sequels.
That sounds like some wacko BS, right?
Well, no, because Cate Blanchett is going to be 60 by the time that happens. It's like you're starting with a legacy sequel. That reminds me. Everyone is bad. Oscar winners debase themselves. Tiny Tina is obnoxious and shitty and badly written, and I hate her.
Roland. Yeah, there's been some trouble.
Oh yeah, give me those line readings. Like even Kevin Hart's having trouble spitting this shit out.
And Atlas, he sent me to bring you to safety.
Oh yeah, over $100 million just burning.
My dad sent you.
That's right.
Oh, Atlas is Tina's dad. I guess it's easier than her having the backstory of watching her parents get tortured to death in a Hyperion experiment for Handsome Jack, your series' most popular villain.
Edgar Ramirez's character Atlas exists hypothetically in the game. We've never met him before in the game or in real life. We're meeting Atlas for the first time in this movie story.
Randy, this is your flagship series. You're not making a Battleborn movie. People actually remember this one.
My dad sent you.
That's right.
His shortest soldier.
Get it? Because Kevin Hart is short? It's Kevin Hart. They're not even trying, man. Someone just said Kevin Hart will do anything, and they cast him.
Okay, let's go. Wait, I changed my mind. Take me back to my cell, please.
Yeah, this crazy girl who routinely plays with explosives wasn't aware this prison break was gonna be dangerous. How you guys doing a character I already don't like so dirty? This girl is BFFs with a psycho. Yeah, we get Krieg in this movie right away. He's on the same block as Tiny Tina. I'm not even doing a section on him since all he does is hit things and say crazy stuff. So they did faithfully adapt his character to the screen. Tiny Tina gets some of the worst dialogue of anyone in the movie.
Can you grab my badonkadonk? Kevin, slow your roll. What is the dealio? Atlas is Banana Pants obsessed with the vault. He says only a daughter of Iridia can open it.
And they bring to each other the way relationships change us. That relationship between Tiny Tina and Lilith is at the center of Borderlands. The movie is the relationship between Tiny Tina and Lilith.
Yeah, also she's cloned using Iridian DNA, so Atlas could open the vault.
He'll use whatever technology is inside and make super weapons.
Yeah, and who would want to see big cool guns in a Borderlands movie? Guns! Glorious guns!
Video game fans will recognize this as the Infinity. It's a Vladoff Infinity.
Kevin Hart is Roland. Well, more accurately, Kevin Hart is Kevin Hart with a gun. Forget any previous characterization.
We want this to be like a gateway drug for the non-Borderlands fans.
Okay, but they're going to be really confused when they play the games, probably like fans of the game were confused when they watched this shit. Kevin Hart is basically a prop in this movie. You pull his string and he Kevin Harts.
Roland is a guy who has a narrative attached to an agenda of good, right?
Oh.
And his agenda of good comes from once upon a time being a part of something that wasn't so good, that he felt that he had to detach from because of where his life has taken him. And in this new place of living, in this new place of life, there's a found respect for the place of Pandora and for the things that possibly could be attached in it or to it.
Now that I think about it, the only character in this movie cast well is Marcus.
Hello, Vault Hunter. Need a ride?
Yeah, not a Vault Hunter, but...
But what, you're not the thing the game is about? That's crazy.
Then welcome aboard. People inside, bags up top.
That's amazing. 12 minutes in and even prisoners walked out. Okay, who else we got from the game? Mad Moxie? Sure.
Probably don't remember me, but
I sure remember you.
Gina Gershon, who plays Moxie, is 7 years older than Cate Blanchett. If you're gonna commit to this, then commit to it and write a script that actually makes sense. So then they introduce Tanis, played by Jamie Lee Curtis, who also recognizes Lilith, but they hate each other because Tanis was supposed to take care of her, but Tanis left Lilith with criminals. Tanis wanted to keep studying the vault.
It's what your mother wanted. She wanted me to learn how to kill by the age of 10?
I remember Tanis in the games being kind of scatterbrained, and I'm wondering why anyone would leave a child in her care. Why would you trust any Borderlands character with a child? Oscar winner Cate Blanchett plays Lilith, and it's generous to say that she's 20 years older than the character is in the game. Good for you, Borderlands, hitting that over 40 female demo that's craving a Borderlands movie. She's introduced bringing in a bounty, which isn't a bad move.
Bounty hunting? It's for the young and stupid, am I right?
And Lilith comes across as a complete sociopath when she just starts gunning people down in this bar.
Hey, not in here, big boy. I'll get Kimber to clean this up.
So Atlas, through one of these goons, hires Lilith to find Tiny Tina on Pandora.
The soldier had hijacked one of Atlas's shuttles and crash-landed here months ago.
That sounds like it could have made for an interesting scene. Wait, months have passed since that prison break? But remember...
I'm getting too old for this shit.
Yes, but why? At one point, Lilith goes back to her home after it's been destroyed, and it's been like 40 years. And so Claptrap is there, and he feels weird, and then collapses and plays a hologram of her mother, who's 20 years younger. I'm not one to get pissed off because a character is aged up for an adaptation unless it's so jarring and stupid that it makes the film's visual storytelling worse. This role was not written for a 50-year-old.
I'm so sorry that I sent you away. As soon as I realized what you are, I knew you'd never be safe here in Pandora.
Lilith, for those of you with no Borderlands experience, is a siren. She was a siren when the game started, but this movie's about her becoming a siren and tapping into that power, which she hasn't noticed or thought about for 40 years. You know how this scene plays out because you've seen a movie before. Her mother loves her and is very sorry she had to abandon her. If she could just hold her one last time. Because every single beat in this movie is a tired, recycled, paint-by-numbers Hollywood cliche. You've already seen Borderlands. You've already seen this character's journey. You know she's gonna get all Super Saiyan at the end and save the day. Everything is hollow. It's pieced together with spare parts.
These are used emotions. It's time to trade them in.
Oof! Faced!
So Lilith has been mad at her mom for giving her away, and that makes sense, until you see the context later where she's escaping by helicopter from a war zone and her mother's last words are, "I'll always love you." It's okay, I know that memories can fade after 40 years. I don't remember being a sperm. I get how she could twist it, and she's mad that her mother wanted to study the vault, but like, why send away the one thing you know can open the vault? And Tanis left her for the same reason. Her mother never wanted her to come back, and we don't know why they knew she was a siren. And just when you thought you were safe from bad Star Wars movies?
But if you ever return, I've made sure that Claptrap will find you. Help you understand your destiny.
Oh, right. Claptrap.
You accidentally shot me in the face again. As I was saying, you can call me Claptrap.
1, 2, 3, 4. If you can see yourself, what you want to show, the verbal masturbate, bottles to nauseate.
You guys remember like a year ago when Jack Black was cool?
This is why I'm here, actually. Yeah. I'm here to talk about Borderlands.
Yeah. We're just trying to cut this part out.
Like all us millennials remember School of Rock and Tenacious D and Mars Attacks, I guess. And now when he shows up somewhere, you know that the quality of what you're watching is plummeted so far into the Earth's core that it's totally unrecognizable. It happened so fast, but chronologically, since this movie was done shooting in the summer of 2021, this may have been the tipping point. This movie might have ruined Jack Black's mind like The Dark Knight ruined Heath Ledger's. We're gonna find Jack Black dead on the toilet in a year after overdosing on Zyn pouches because that's how fucking lame he's become. Claptrap, a character designed and written to be obnoxious, has been distilled into this pain homunculus, unleashed on the public, and I must know what sin could we have possibly committed to deserve this. Like, I get why they do this to me. Claptrap is one of the most obnoxious movie characters ever put to screen, and not even I should be subjected to his fucking clowning. He exists to miraculously move the plot forward and dispense terrible jokes. At least R2-D2 had the decency to show his hologram off in the first act. When he's not pulling plot beats from other movies out of his ass, he's riffing the movie he's currently in. They just edit him in saying some terrible fucking quip during scenes.
How sweet. One of you kill the other. I'm gonna go get a coffee.
And like no one even registers that he's talking. They wrote this script thinking that the audience would identify and laugh along with this jabbering, wholly unflattering mockery of comedy.
I'm programmed for humor, so I will process that as witty banter.
Oh, Jesus Christ, with the air quotes, too.
Scanning, 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 scanning. This is the last known location of your quarry. Get it?
And everyone hates him in the movie because he's annoying, but he's still being annoying all the time.
Scanning, scanning, scanning. Y'all bitches need to eat your own butts with your poopy mouth ass faces. Daughter of Iridia, baby. Bet you didn't see that coming. Who knew electricity provoked defecation? Hooray! Whoops. Premature celebration. I blacked out. Did something important happen? Hey there, sugar chips. You need a firmware update? No, I've been lying dormant under a garbage heap for calculating 36 years.
Oh, holy shit, he's actually told me something important. See, Lilith's mother left Claptrap to help her out when she came back to Pandora. So I've been wrong this whole time. It hasn't been 40 years. It's only been 36 years. It's only been a time equal to my entire life. 36 years ago, when this was number 4 on the Billboard Top 100. Alright, this won't take long. Basically, there are 3 vault keys. One is Tina, supposedly. One of them is in an underground psycho warehouse place with a sewer. They already had one vault key from somewhere, it doesn't matter. Maybe they mentioned it before in some throwaway line, but I didn't hear it. So Lilith goes to hunt down Tina on Pandora, which takes about 6 minutes. Claptrap looked at a picture and searched for her on the EchoNet, which Lilith is really excited he can access.
Did you say EchoNet? Can you use it to find someone?
Because it's not like in the game where you hook up to it the minute you start. It doesn't bother me that it doesn't work like in the game, it bothers me that they use it as a shortcut. It's fan service written into the movie to lazily get from one place to the other. She fights with Tina, who taps Krieg in, and then Atlas troops show up because Lilith called them, and Roland comes in to save the day, but Lilith has a change of heart and won't hand off Tina to the Crimson Lance. The plan was that Lilith would find Tina, and then send a signal, and then Atlas's people would show up to take her back.
Activate this device when you find my daughter, and my people will retrieve her.
Nice work, lady. You led him straight to me.
Lilith decides to go against this plan because she's bonded with this character who spent the last 5 minutes trying to kill her. Like Tiny Tina, in their first scene together, tries to blow her up. There's absolutely nothing between the time that she gets this mission and when she's about to hand Tina over that would convince her to change her mind. She doesn't know Tina's a lab experiment yet. She doesn't know anything. Roland says they have to go find Tanis in Sanctuary, but first they have to ask Moxie where she is, and then 5 minutes later they find her. And then the Crimson Lance attacks and they have to escape because Claptrap gave them away. Because he's awful. Tanis has a book that tells her where the second vault key is. So they go find the second vault key and that terrible action scene happens and the movie pretends that Roland sacrifices himself. The second key helps them locate the vault on this map. See? You see the vault logo on the map? Tells them exactly where it is. Okay, it gives them a general idea of where it is. On this continent. On this planet. They're gonna go to the vault, but Atlas sends a drone in, meaning he knows where they are, but he talks to Lilith with a hologram.
Have you broken the beacon I gave you?
This thing was junk the whole time.
There was a highly accurate tracking device that has led me right to you and Tina.
But, wait, wasn't that the point?
And the Crimson Lance are on their way to collect her now.
But you know she's here and you sent a hologram to... What? He knows where they are because Claptrap fixed the tracking device, and at no point do they consider killing him or leaving him behind, despite everyone hating him. Especially Lilith, who shoots him 3 times during their first conversation. Tina, of course, overhears the conversation at the worst time, and now she doesn't trust Lilith, so she throws a grenade at her.
Tina, no!
But Tina is the third key, and they don't know what's going to happen when she opens the vault. Like, if she'll get destroyed, like they said before happens to the keys, they're single use only, so...
I have to warn you, this might kill you.
Me? Nah, kid. I'm the special one.
Lilith goes off with Claptrap to her childhood home so that Claptrap can play a hologram of her mother so that she knows that her mother loved her. And that she's a siren. So Tanis, Krieg, and Tina find the vault entrance, which is marked with such conspicuous glowy bullshit that the first person who saw it would try to dig up whatever shiny thing that is. Krieg fucking taps it and it starts rising out of the ground. And then nothing happens because Lilith is the siren. And Atlas shows up because he's known where they are the whole time. Except there's no tracker on them anymore. And Roland swings in on a rope and shoots Atlas's shield, which does nothing.
You might have saved the day if it wasn't for my Atlas Ultra Shield.
Yeah, I couldn't put that one together.
You can't hurt me! Not with my cheese helmet!
If human beings were as stupid as this movie thinks we are, we'd still be shitting in the woods.
Kill them all.
What? Kill them all?
Roland, you were right. I should have...
Oh yeah, that was Nox. Roland knew her. She was the finest mind of her generation.
Any other objections?
Just one.
Oh, Lilith comes back just in time to...
Did you continue breathing?
Ooh, faced.
Lilith fucking teleports. She's a siren now. She's powerful. It's been 5 minutes since she found out that she's got these powers. She teleports earlier, but Tina takes credit for it.
Teleportation! I can move stuff with my mind, y'all.
And no one questions this. But I did get a little bit of a laugh from Lilith wiping her vomit on Tiny Tina.
That relationship between Tiny Tina and Lilith is at the center of Borderlands, the movie.
The movie really tries to make it look like Tina did it. They're trapped on a speeding elevator. The danger is palpable and blurry and badly composited, and they just paint awful lighting effects over the characters. Tanis is like, how did you do that? And Tina says, I don't know, and that's it. They think that Tina just casually broke all scientific laws and no one ever brings it up again. Especially not the scientist who abandoned a child to study this shit. Am I insane? Now, trying to make the known backstory of one of the main characters of your series into the twist of the movie, well, it's a choice, an amazingly bad choice that makes me downright giddy. I mean, one of the writers patted themselves on the back when they came up with this, and the other one took his name off the movie. Lilith makes a deal with Atlas to spare the rest of the group if she'll open the vault, a thing that she honestly believes will kill her, and determining that Atlas won't just shoot everyone and dump them with her corpse. But then Lilith turns into the Firehawk.
The legends were true. She's the Firehawk.
Lilith goes full siren and saves the day with confusing powers. You know, Tina gets thrown in a well and then she picks her up with fire, but it's okay. It's not burning fire. This is actually kind of like a game. Lilith tosses some protection on her teammates. So not like Borderlands, but it's like a game. So Roland could just stand around and shoot stuff, and Claptrap can...
Interplanetary Ninja Assassin Mode activated! Step aside! This is right!
I taste vomit when he talks. Krieg hits people. Tanis does nothing.
Your mother gave you to me to take you away from here so you would never have to open that vault.
Okay, but the legends that you believe...
That one day, a daughter of Iridia would open the vault and restore order to the broken planet.
I just don't get it. It seems like the used plot beats they've pieced this script together with don't fit. Opening the vault will bring peace to Pandora, but it might kill Lilith, but also it can be used for super weapons, so we can't let Atlas open it. You know, we end up with a Raiders of the Lost Ark problem here, because Lilith doesn't kill Atlas. A big tentacle monster inside the vault kills Atlas. So there was no reason for them to stop him, because is it really all about getting rid of his...
Atlas Ultra Shield.
Tanis does do one thing.
Come on, Lilith.
There we go, good job. Lilith, like she does the beam thing, where she makes her magic beam overpower the other beam.
Siren.
Jamie Lee, you're better than this. But you're not Kevin Hart. You used to be Jack Black.
I am Steve.
Who does Jack Black owe money? Remember how awesome it was when you get into the vault in Borderlands and defeated the big monster and you got a shitload of cool guns and stuff? Forget it, the vault is floating glowy stuff and tentacle monsters. We cut to Sanctuary shooting fireworks off, and wait, did they include Ellie for like 2 seconds? Kinda looks like her, and you know, Moxie is her, you know what, never mind. This all happens in less than 90 minutes, so I can't fault it for being one of those overblown 3-hour Hollywood superhero movies that are like a computer-generated representation of children smashing action figures together. Look at that character arc. Lilith comes to call Pandora her home after it gives her superpowers. And then there's 10 minutes of credits where they throw a posterization filter over the actors to make them look like they're in the game and call it a day. So the plot of this movie is crap. That's nothing new. Action movies have gotten by with bad plots before. So how's the action that isn't that one terrible scene they previewed for everyone? It's bad. Shockingly bad. Okay, maybe I'm not that shocked. When I talked about that clip they released, there was always the chance that when the movie came out, it would be edited better or there'd be a change. And man, I've got egg on my face now because they didn't edit it better. They just added Motorhead's Ace of Spades to it, which is like a joke. Great song, obviously, but when a movie as self-aware as Shoot 'em Up does the same thing 16 years earlier, with a much more over-the-top action scene, you know, over-the-top, a thing Borderlands, the game series, loves?
There's nothing we can't do! Stairs!
I mean, at least I have something to listen to, so it is objectively better. The movie, after it's done with Lilith's narration at the beginning, goes right into the action with Roland breaking Tiny Tina and Krieg out of space jail. It starts with Roland bloodlessly shooting a few Atlas soldiers around a corner, and then rounding the next corner, seeing more of them, and running straight into one. There are 3 of them here, but it's okay, one of them magically disappears. No, one of them is just fucking gone in the next shot and they edit it quick so they hope no one will notice. This movie is cut like a shop teacher with Parkinson's. There's an action montage soon after where Lilith blows up a car from the game by shooting explosive barrels. I mean, it cuts between her and CGI happening, and at no point do these things actually share a shot. It wouldn't take a lot to convince me that this shot was recycled and they recorded some narration to have Lilith do something before she gets on the bus with Marcus. And then Lilith fights with Tina and Krieg. Tina throws some CGI stuffed animals at Lilith and they look like shit in the wide shot, and then you zoom in and she's still throwing CGI stuffed animals. Like, you don't even have to make them explode in these shots.
Nice fucking models!
Buy some fucking teddy bears, you lazy bastards. Or maybe this was Tim Miller, whatever, my point still stands. And then there's this Looney Tunes bullshit with a seesaw that launches Lilith into the air, which, while it is full of unnecessary CGI, like, you guys know that if you want a shadow above someone, you can just fucking put something there. It's off camera. And not only that, but this movie is full of some of the most Spy Kids-ass green screening, despite having at least 3 times the budget. I'm not saying that nobody cared, but a lot of people didn't care. Maybe the artists who worked on this CGI cared, I don't know. Most of the movie looks cheap. Sanctuary doesn't, but they spend maybe 5 minutes there. All of this is CGI slop, and I know I sound like an old man, but I'll cop to CGI being able to look good. It just doesn't here. This isn't a case of we'll fix it in post, it's a case of we'll do it in post. Like, the movie tries to punish Claptrap for being the worst character ever put into a movie, but the lukewarm acting and the way the psychos are just kind of shaking their guns at him, you can tell that they were directed to pretend to shoot guns, and they'd throw ugly muzzle flashes and bullet casings in later, like, use fucking blanks. You're shooting at a goddamn prop that's mostly CGI anyway. You have $100 million. This could be the most satisfying part of your movie, and it feels flat and shitty, and he still never stops talking.
You got me! Okay, I'm dead. How about that?
Like, they show Roland shooting some guys, he turns about 10 degrees, and they cut to him shooting an entirely different part of the set. This is lazy. Like, there's a decent set here, and they just fucking cover it in uncanny CG smoke and fire, and it makes everything look worse. Maybe all the explosions are there to cover up people dying because it's PG-13. Maybe this is such a mess because they had to cut it down to a PG-13 from an R. Like Eli Roth said,
I don't want to say what we're filming, but it's lots of blood, lots of guts. It's totally bonkers, but it's also very Borderlands.
I feel a little bad for Eli Roth. There's no way that this is the movie he wanted to make. Like, it's possible that he could have made something passable, like, this movie had no chance.
This thing was junk the whole time.
There were so many producers. So let's look at the executive producers, the people really in charge. You've got Tim Miller, who directed Deadpool, which I can understand people not enjoying. But he also produced some good stuff. Love, Death, and Robots has some pretty awesome episodes. He produced all the Sonic movies, which aren't nearly as bad as this. We've got Ethan Smith, which none of the movies listed look as bad as Borderlands. Louise Rosner, whose EP credits include John Wick Chapter 4. And Morbius. Wait, there's even more executive producers. Emi Yu, who only executive produced Borderlands and is producing the upcoming Naruto movie. I'm sorry, Naruto fans. Lucy Kitata, who... None of this looks very action-heavy, but I never read any of the Babysitter's Club books. We've also got Strauss Zelnick, who's currently working on a BioShock movie. I'm sorry, BioShock fans. And of course, the one, the only, the master of Grease, old Slippery Randy.
Now look, I love a good joke.
Yeah, I love meth, but I've never been able to make it. Obviously, I can't lay all of the blame at Randy's feet. I can't imagine that he wanted to make this a PG-13, unless someone told him that would make it more profitable. You know, one of those old Hollywood executives who won big like one time by cutting a couple F-bombs out of an R-rated movie. I'm guessing the executives were happy to be working with someone with Randy's business acumen.
We got a Grease man. We got a Grease man.
I want people to go, that is the best time I've had in a movie theater in years.
Well, I can definitely say that, since I haven't seen a new movie in a theater since Batman v Superman. And they wonder why people don't want to go to the theater anymore.